Hello, my friends. Welcome back to MindFuel Zone. I am glad you are here today. Take a deep breath, sit comfortably, because today we are going on a journey. Not a short journey, not a simple one. Today, we travel across deserts and oceans, across mountains and ancient cities, and we travel through the eyes of one man who walked more than any person in history. His name was Ibn Battuta. Have you ever felt curious about the world? Have you ever wanted to see everything? This man felt that way every single day of his life. He did not just dream, he walked out the door and never looked back. If you enjoy learning English through real stories, please subscribe to MindFuel Zone. It helps us bring you more calm, simple stories like this one. Now let us begin. Ibn Battuta was born in the year 1304. He was born in a city called Tangier. Tangier is in Morocco. Morocco is a country in North Africa. It sits at the edge of the sea. The air smells like salt and spice. His family was educated and respected. His father and grandfather were Islamic legal scholars. They were called judges. They helped people solve problems. Ibn Battuta grew up learning. He studied religion and law. He read books. He listened to teachers. He was a quiet boy in a busy world, but inside him something was growing, a deep, powerful feeling. He wanted to see the world. In those times, Muslim men had a duty. They tried to travel to the holy city of Mecca. This journey is called the Hajj. Ibn Battuta was 21 years old. He packed his bags. He said goodbye to his family. He did not know it then, but he would not return home for nearly 30 years. He set off alone on a dusty road. The year was 1325. He walked through North Africa. He passed through Egypt. He saw the Great Pyramids. He stood beside the Nile River. He could not believe his eyes. He thought to himself, "The world is so big, and I have seen so little." That thought changed everything. After Hajj, most people returned home. Ibn Battuta did not. He kept going. He traveled east, he traveled north, he traveled across the sea. He visited Persia, he walked through Turkey, he explored the lands around the Black Sea, he entered the palaces of kings, he slept in the homes of farmers. He was curious about everything. He tasted new foods. He learned new languages. He observed different customs. Everywhere he went, he asked questions. Why do people here dress this way? Why do they pray like this? What do they eat for celebration? He was like an open book, always ready to receive something new. But the journey was not easy. Ibn Battuta faced many dangers. Once, robbers attacked him on a mountain road. They took his belongings. They left him with nothing. He was tired, hungry, and scared. But he did not give up. He found kind strangers who helped him. He rested. He recovered. And he kept walking. Another time, he nearly drowned at sea during a terrible storm. The waves were like mountains of black water. The ship shook with great violence. People around him were screaming. He closed his eyes and prayed. The storm passed. He survived. He wrote about this later with great honesty. He wrote, "I was afraid. My heart was shaken, but fear did not stop him. He got on another ship and sailed again." This tells us something important about Ibn Battuta. He was brave, not because he felt no fear, but because he moved forward even when he was afraid. He traveled to India. The Sultan of Delhi heard about this great traveler. He invited Ibn Battuta to his court. The Sultan was impressed. He gave Ibn Battuta a very important job. He made him a judge of Delhi. Ibn Battuta lived in India for several years. He worked, he learned, he observed. But the wandering feeling never left him. One day the Sultan gave him a new assignment. He asked him to travel to China as an ambassador. An ambassador is a person who speaks on behalf of a country. Ibn Battuta accepted. But the journey to China became one of his most difficult. His ship was destroyed in a storm before it even left the coast. The gifts for the Chinese emperor were lost at sea. He was back to nothing. He traveled to the Maldive Islands. He served as a judge there, too. He then slowly made his way toward China. When he finally arrived in China, he was amazed. The streets were full of merchants and silk and color. He had never seen such a wealthy and organized place. He observed the people carefully. He respected their ways. Even though everything was different from home, he found beauty in it. In total, Ibn Battuta visited over 40 countries. He walked and sailed more than 75,000 miles. Think about that. 75,000 miles. Without cars, without airplanes, only his feet and his will. He visited the deserts of Mali in West Africa. He walked through the streets of Constantinople. He saw the golden mosques of Persia. He watched fishermen in the Maldive Islands. He drank tea in China. He documented everything he saw. He remembered details, colors, faces, smells, conversations. His memory was extraordinary. When Ibn Battuta finally returned to Morocco, he was an old man. He was around 45 years old. His hair was gray. His feet were tired. He had seen things most people only dream about. The Sultan of Morocco heard of his return. He summoned Ibn Battuta to his court. He asked him, "Tell me everything." Ibn Battuta spoke. For days and days he spoke. A scholar named Ibn Juzai sat beside him. He wrote down every word. The result was a great book. It was called the Rihla. In Arabic, Rihla means journey. The book described roads, rulers, customs, and climates. It described food markets, prayer halls, and wedding traditions. It described how merchants traded and how poor people survived. It was not just a travel diary. It was a mirror of the whole world. Today, historians and scholars still read the Rihla. It teaches us about the 14th century, about how people lived, about what the world looked like before cameras, before recordings, before the internet. Ibn Battuta's words became our window into the past. He described places that no longer exist. He met rulers whose names we would have forgotten. He preserved voices that would have been lost forever. Because of him, we know so much more. So what can we learn from Ibn Battuta? We can learn that curiosity is a gift. When we are curious, we grow. We can learn that the world is full of good people. Even strangers showed him kindness. Even in the hardest moments, someone helped. We can learn that fear is normal. Ibn Battuta was afraid many times. He wrote about it without shame. But he kept going, step by step, mile by mile. And we can learn that stories matter. Every place he visited had a story. Every person he met had a story. He listened, he remembered, he shared, and now 700 years later, we are still listening. My friends, this is the story of Ibn Battuta, a young man from a small coastal city who opened his door one morning and decided to see everything. He did not have a map of the whole world. He did not have a plan for 30 years. He just took one step, then another, and the world opened up before him. Maybe there is something in your life that makes you curious. Maybe there is a door you have not opened yet. Perhaps the story of Ibn Battuta is a gentle reminder. Take the step. Ask the question. Begin the journey. You do not need to walk 75,000 miles. You just need to start.